This festival is like it's a well-kept secret. This is one of the best festivals in New York State.
What's great about it is it's intimate.
The most unique quality about Jazz at the Lake is the intimacy of it.
When I come here, I always know that there's going to be straightforward jazz. No rock and roll pushed in between there. And I'm a straightforward jazz fan, so I just love that.
Jazz is, to me, it's a conversation musicians are having. And I'd much rather listen in on their conversation at a small little cocktail party like Lake George than a huge arena like Montreux.
It's smaller, you know, it's a more intimate thing. It's like going to a club where there's only going to be a certain amount of people.
So I just happened to be out here one September afternoon, which was 31 years ago, and it was so beautiful here. And it was at the time there was so little activity in Lake George. I was thinking, boy, this would be a nice time of year to do something. I thought of jazz, not knowing anything about jazz. So it was.
What made you think of jazz, John?
I don't know. It's just so peaceful and quiet at that time here. By the lake, I just thought it would be such a great setting.
I think what the setting does to contain the music, it creates a magic between the audience and the players that you feel as the concert goes on. I think it's definitely a combination of those factors.
Whenever there's a review of any of the performances, always they talk about the setting. You know, it's not just the music, it's a combination.
And we got a beautiful day. Thank you all for showing up for our 30th annual Lake George Jazz Weekend.
Well, I was here 30 years ago. I may have missed 2 or 3 years, but this is the highlight of the year for me. It's just an amazing experience.
It's such a cut above the fact that you can have this kind of quality music, but in a place that's as pastoral as this.
I shot when it was just a platform of concrete, no sides, no ceiling. And then all of a sudden they built the one storage, then the other storage, and then it became what it is this seasonal stage.
It's built on an amphitheater, and the performers are on a stage. You can see the lake behind them.
Well, the Adirondacks is really a special place, I'm learning. And so to have a festival up here, I think is just a great idea, and to be playing in such a beautiful location not only help make you want to be here more, it makes it so nice for the audience.
One thing that I found that's so interesting about this festival is actually there's never an enclosed area, and if you're willing to wait at the sides of the stage, you will more than likely get to meet the artists that you've loved their set or they're a hero, and they'll sign autographs and they'll talk with people, and there's an informality.
You know, people are walking backstage and shaking hands with the artist right afterwards. That does not happen at major jazz festivals.
Jazz right by the lake. I mean, it seems like it's just a perfect match. I mean, 30 years. I never knew this event was happening. I probably would come here even if I wasn't playing.
I'm happy to be here. It's really beautiful here. This lake, and it's a little cold, but the people are still out here and they want to hear the music, and they're giving you so much energy. It's just what else could you ask for?
Musician's point of view, one of the most amazing things I enjoyed about playing here is that the audience is amazing.
A lot of times festivals like these, you see most of the people, they're kind of reading or they're kind of playing around or they're mostly drinking or talking to each other. They're kind of like maybe 30% with the music being more background. I really didn't get that sense at all. People applauding after solos and being pretty engaged, and that makes a big difference.
It's a very attentive audience, which to me usually also means that it's a fairly well-educated audience. By that I mean that if a festival has been going on for a long time, people are used to the sounds that are being presented to them and how adventuresome they are. And so the fact that we're playing some somewhat experimental music and people are really into it, it just adds up to a great experience with an audience that's really attentive.
Having the event be 30 years old is a wonderful thing. To the oldest jazz festival of its sort in the country, and it's free of charge. It brings out a very diverse crowd, and the fact that the Gruskin Group has helped us out with generous donations, to think that we're going to have it again next year without having to worry about that, and without the cause dying, I really think that that's probably the most important thing, is that it continues.
Being around 30 years, again, I've had contact with people who started listening to this music 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back at 38, 39, and bring their kids here. So, I've watched the generational transmission of the message in this festival.
My dad has had a tremendous influence on me as an artist and just a consumer of like wonderful things, so the jazz festival and my exposure to jazz music has I think made me a lot better rounded as like a music listener, as a musician.
I think it's really important to expose my daughter and my son, I have twins, to jazz, because I want it to be something that I know the music my mom exposed me to has really stayed with me, and jazz was one of those forms.
We're a jazz festival family, so we go to jazz festivals and we've been dragging them forever to the jazz festivals. We don't have to drag them to this one. She's been looking forward, both of them have been looking forward to coming to Lake George.
If you look at this festival, you'll see kids, families. In addition to people in their 50s and 60s, you'll see people in their 20s and 30s. It's really across the range. And that's why I think festivals like this are important, because it's one of the few ways you can transmit that information.